That's right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Royal Ramble with Jonathan Mellis and our tag team champions, Thunder and Lightning.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of OCCW's flagship show on its flagship station, the Royal Ramble. To my left is the legendary one half of the tag team champions of Orange County Championship Wrestling. His name is synonymous with pain and suffering. His name is Azrael. And welcome to another exciting episode. All right, and to my right, his tag team partner. I got like two heads. What the hell's going on here?
You're doing something different tonight.
All right, someone's on LSD. You're not on LSD. We're just having a new effect here. To my right, the Thunder in the Thunder and Lightning. People say he's getting better at meeting females. Other people say he's bad at making friends. But I say he's just about all Marcus Frey.
What's up?
We're going to open tonight's segment, or tonight's show, with a somber moment and a sobriquet to the now deceased Rocky Johnson. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been my first memory in my travels of professional wrestling when I was a mere 12 years old. I turned on the television station one day. It was KHJ TV Channel 9 at 9:30 on a Saturday morning. I was looking for something else to watch, and I stumbled upon Championship Wrestling. And the first person I ever saw was this titanic man who went by the name of Rocky Johnson. And being a big fan of the Rocky movies, I stopped and watched it. And it was the most memorable moment of my youth. I saw this man, Rocky Johnson, doing these high drop kicks and amazing somersault sunset flips in the ring. And from that moment on, I was hooked. Rocky Johnson was my first favorite wrestler. Now, Rocky Johnson was born in 1944. He died last Thursday, I believe it was, at the age of 76. Many of my memories of Rocky Johnson are his titanic struggles with Don Morocco for the Intercontinental Championship belt. I actually had a chance to see him wrestle at the LA Sports Arena. I went crazy. I got to see one of my first heroes live. The first time I ever saw someone I idolized as a kid up close and personal. Not real close. We were kind of in the cheap seats. But, and then in December of 1983, my brother and I sat wrapped, holding each other's hands as Rocky Johnson and Tony Atlas took on the Wild Samoans for the WWF Tag Team title. And the match was back and forth. There was a no disqualification match against what was the most dominant tag team of the time. With Lou Albano, their manager, they were the bad guys incarnate. They would cheat. They would overbeat people down. They destroyed prelim bums, and they just seemed unstoppable. And our two heroes, Rocky Johnson and Tony Atlas, got in the ring. These two paragons of virtue as far as we knew. And they battled back and forth. And in this rainy, small TV set having living room, my brother and I held each other's hands and we held each other's breath, and we couldn't believe it. They're still in there. Rocky Johnson would be trapped in the corner getting beat down by Afa and Sika. Tony Atlas would get the tag. He would come in. He'd do damage. Rocky Johnson come in, take all the heat, and we could not believe it. When the referee gets knocked out, in comes Lou Albano with, back then they had wooden chairs. They didn't have the steel chairs. They hit, he goes to hit, Lou Albano goes to hit Tony Atlas with a wooden chair over the head. Tony Atlas moves, Afa eats the wooden chair, literally breaks over his head and gets stuck around his neck. Down he goes. Tony Atlas makes the cover, and the referee slowly crawls up from his miasma, walks over to him, makes a 1, 2, 3 count, and it seemed unbelievable. It was like seeing the Dodgers win the World Series. It was unbelievable. Rocky Johnson and Tony Atlas had become the WWF champions, and my first favorite professional wrestler now had a title belt, defeating what we thought were the evil Wild Samoans. I mean, later on we come to find that he was actually cousins or in-laws with one of them. So that is my memory of Rocky Johnson. It really saddened me to hear of his passing, and later on we all know that he was the father of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And if you watch closely in that last movie, Hobbs and Shaw, you'll see a small cameo from Rocky Johnson himself, not an actual person. If you look on the wall, one of the offices of where his mom lives, where Hobbs, was that Dwayne?
Yes.
Yeah, Hobbs' mom lives. You see a picture of him and The Rock on the beach. So it was a sad moment. My condolences go out to the family of Rocky Johnson and all his fans. And Rock, I don't know if these guys remember you, but I will never forget you. Good luck and Godspeed. All right. That said, let's talk a little bit about. Do you have any memories of Rocky Johnson? You're a bit young for.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really around when he was wrestling, but my dad made sure that I was up on the history of wrestling.
Now that's good,
and especially some of the. I mean, everybody makes fun of it when I say stuff like this, but some of the great African Americans that wrestled, because as a kid, you always want to find someone that you can connect with. You want to find someone
that looks like you, maybe.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Yeah. Like I talk about it nowadays. I'm happy for characters like Miles Morales in comic books because it gives someone a person to relate to. That's what wrestling was for me. Rocky Johnson, Tony Atlas, Farouk, also known,
Oh yeah, Ron Simmons.
Ron Simmons when he was the first. I think it was WWF at that time, wasn't it? When he won the was it the NWA championship? He was the
WCW.
First person to hold the world title for WCW.
Yeah.
It was
first black.
Right. It was one of those things where it's like you look at moments like that in history, and I clung to them, and I was like, this is something that is possible. Now, mind you, back then you kind of had to look like a Greek god in your build, and
he did.
And these guys did. They pulled off stuff that within their athleticism and their physical prowess that today is just overlooked.
Right.
You now get these guys that are maybe 6'2", 175 pounds.
Hey. 175 pounds is a perfectly respectable weight.
But
I'm an extra large in Chinese clothes.
Well,
Okay.
you got the little Kitty Omegas over there.
I was just gonna say, it was like you said, you wanted to cheer for someone who looked like you or sounded like you. That's how it was for me and Tito Santana. Tito Santana was the first Mexican wrestler I saw that didn't wear a mask or didn't play some weird, ridiculous stereotype. He was the first Hispanic wrestler that I saw, and so when I saw him, I gravitated towards him, and I really liked that whole thing. Now for you,
Did
maybe
you
like
say Tito Santana
Opie Taylor or Bob Backlund, was that one of your favorite wrestlers?
Tito Santana wasn't any kind of stereotype?
He wasn't.
Even when he had like the Matador.
Well, that was later on, yeah. And when he was the Matador, that was later. But obviously,
when he first came,
you don't remember when he was at his height, when he won the IC title, and everything like that.
Just like
when he won the
Dragon
tag team title,
he didn't do a whole lot of dressing up until later on in his career.
That's right. With the Dragon,
right? Where they started to try and make
Bruce
them
Lee.
very.
I mean, I'm still waiting to be represented on television.
Bob Backlund, Opie Taylor, no.
I mean Gangrel, but they didn't let Gangrel get a hold of anything.
Edge
Vampiro.
Edge held a lot of titles, and Edge was a part of the
yeah, but Edge is not really one. You ever seen him and Christian? They're nerds, man. They're more like
what would you call yourself?
I was just gonna say, they're not real hip.
Edge is not really of the
slicksters
night.
like yourself.
Edge was of the night until he realized the night wasn't going to take him anywhere.
Edge is only of the night when he's with Lita. She's a lady of the evening.
Oh, okay. The views and opinions of Azrael are the views and opinions of Azrael himself. They do not represent OCCW, the Royal Ramble, or the Free Admission Channel, or frankly anyone else with a decent thought in their head.
I don't think that's
Tom Dupree just said that Azrael looks like one of the Lost members from the Lost Boys.
You're going to be lost, Tom Dupree. I'm going to get a hold of you. I'm going to drink your last drop of blood, Tom Dupree. I'm going to find you, man. I'm going to find you at 3PWA. I'm going to hunt you down at Leap Year. I'm going to go everywhere where you are. And I'm going to get a hold of you, old man.
All right, that's it. So did you want to say anything about Rocky Johnson before we move on?
You seem to have more passionate feelings about him than Dwayne Johnson does. I mean, you know a lot about Rocky Johnson.
Well, like I said, that was my Wonder years, I guess. I was my Kevin Arnold years.
Yeah, I mean, because we'll all have people that we can look back upon when we first started watching wrestling.
Not all of us were born cynical and bitter. All right,
well, sorry. He's talking about he remembers the dawn of time, so nothing is pure to him. He's like, I was there sucking blood when when Egypt was rising up in power.
Can you get him to take this down? Thank you. Okay, that said, anything new in the world of wrestling on your end?
I'm waiting for Cage Match.
All right, we're gonna get to that,
Mikey O'Shea.
As we get to that, if you have been watching, lots going on in the world of wrestling, from Albany, New York to Mozambique or Zimbabwe. That's in Africa, yeah? Okay, Zimbabwe. And because there's so much, there's so many, and even though there's two of us, there's so much to cover. We have to hire a new foreign correspondent. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in welcoming Mr. Jack Bruce Davidson
JBD.
and his amazing shirt.
What's going on, JBD?
How we doing, my man?
I know you just got back in town.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so how were things over there in Mozambique?
Mozambique.
Well, let's take a look at this shirt. Hold on. For the viewing audience at home.
It's so sick, it's blending into the background.
Look at that. He's got like one of them see-through Doctor Who type shirts, right?
That's the last time I go on one of those diets. You can see right through me.
Oh, somewhere Lex Icon is groaning at that pun. All right.
What's for you, Lex?
Bill Chew saw Rocky Johnson in 1970 versus Mysterious at the Olympic Auditorium, and I'm sure that was a happy 52nd birthday to Bill Chew. Happy birthday, Bill.
Oh, no. Poor Bill. We love you, Bill.
Thank you for adding that, Bill. Thank you. I'm not the only one who actually saw Rocky Johnson up close.
Bill Chew's still awake. It's 9:20.
Matlock isn't on yet.
Okay, all right. Bill Chew, thank you for watching. We appreciate
Come
you.
to cage match, Bill Chew, and shut me up.
He's like, it's either this or MASH.
We all know that Bill Chew does not watch Match or Madlog. It's Murder, She Wrote or nothing. All right. Just kidding, Bill. All right. So what's new in the world of wrestling, Mr. Jack Bruce Davidson?
I got you on that one. So, story number one, speculation has it that Talia Valkyrie is planning to leave Impact Wrestling. Rumors suggest that she's planning to come to the WWE due to her husband, John Morrison, recently making his return.
That's the dude that looks like Jim Morrison.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much.
Yeah. And then, Killer Cross might be willing to come to WWE as well. You know, I mean, everyone wants to come to the World Wrestling Entertainment.
I mean, I love how, like, when stuff like that gets reported, it's reported as though it's a surprise. Somebody wanted to come to the NFL.
Yeah.
Somebody wanted to play in Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Are we really shocked about this? Most of these other companies are literally holding on by a strand, and all these wrestlers are going, if I get an opportunity to make it to the big league, I'm going to take that opportunity.
And even if they're not just holding on by a strand, they're still going to go to the big leagues.
Exactly.
You're going to get called up. It's basically like being
Are
called
you
up.
going to choose Canadian football over the NFL? Really?
Probably not. Yes.
I mean, you're going to get exposure, but come on.
Unless your name is Sting.
Yeah, well.
All right.
I met John Morrison once.
You did? Where did you meet him?
He was at a seminar, so I did the seminar with John Morrison. He told me I could stay the same size and remain functional, but Crime Time made fun of me. Crime Time said, "But to hell with him. Curls for the girls, my man."
Well, that's some pretty good advice, too.
Right?
Yeah. Maybe find some middle ground there.
He's
Some
a very
push-ups, maybe?
he's a handsome man. John Morrison is.
Did you find
He's
him?
got a wife? Why would he have a wife when he can have a harem of women?
I mean, no one said he doesn't have that harem, too.
Well, you know what? I would expect a man of your age and experience to understand the reason why you wouldn't want more than one wife.
I'm not getting married. I'm not betting
All right,
on
harem.
my
Can you
possessions.
imagine having like say you had 7 women in your harem? That's like having 7 jobs. It's not like you think, oh, I'm just gonna go in there and lay pipes to 7 different women.
And
No,
you're never
pal.
going to do a satisfactory
No,
job
yes, exactly.
on any of those jobs.
Forget that. I'm sorry. That may sound misogynistic, but I call it realistic. And really, how happy are those women going to be to have to share, you know, oh, I can only yell at you 1/7 of the time? God, no, thank you. All right, I'm sorry. But we digress. Bring it on, JBD.
No biggie. With Brock Lesnar set to become a free agent in the year 2020, it is reported that Brock Lesnar is going to be using AEW as leverage to get a new contract
If
with
they
WWE.
don't let him walk this time,
Oh, yeah.
I swear to God, like he is literally bleeding them dry. And at the end of the day, he's bringing absolutely nothing to the table.
You know what he is? Honestly, he is the Hulk Hogan of this time.
Except for with less popularity.
He was useless to the WWF when they let him go. He wasn't drawing like he was. He was like an anchor, right? When he goes to AEW, he may bring some legitimacy to help AEW. I don't think he will, because even Hulk Hogan's work schedule makes him look like Ric Flair compared to Brock Lesnar.
It's ridiculous.
And the reality is they don't need him. They needed him for a while to do that crossover appeal and mainstream appeal, right? So that people say, oh yeah, Brock Lesnar, he's real, blah, blah. But now with them every Sunday, did you watch any football this year? then you caught a shit ton of
those
WWF or WWE commercials, right? So they don't need they have a mainstream player. It's called the National Football League.
Well, and not only that, because of the fact that the National Football League is aligned with Fox, every single time anything is coming on Fox, they are mentioning WWE.
Yep.
So yeah, they did what they needed to do by keeping him for that transition.
Sure.
Let's put him on SmackDown. Let's make sure that we transition cleanly into the realm of real sports. So, you can watch NFL and tell that some of these games are fixed, but
don't say that.
I mean, it looks like it. But at the end of the day, when you sit there and you go, okay, we need you because you're a real athlete. First of all, fuck you to the rest of the locker room for you guys doing that. Yeah. But then, you utilize him for that. You've done the transition. Let his ass walk. Because at this point, the only thing he's going to be good for is putting over other people that are newcomers. Like, I would love to
And he won't do it.
And he won't do it.
No.
Because I'd love to see Keith Lee come in and beat the hell out of Brock Lesnar. That would put Keith Lee on the map. But what are they going to do? Oh, no, this new big guy wants to go up against Brock Lesnar. We're going to have him job to Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
It's pointless.
Yeah,
It's time for him to walk.
I have to agree. What do you think about that, Azra?
I think they should let him go to AEW if he wants to go to AEW.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like the amount of money that he's going to ask for would put them, in the negative.
Exactly, right?
like Bret Hart, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall. Like Vince McMahon's like, okay, fine, whatever. I'll make somebody else famous, and then you go do you. You're going to be too expensive, and now they go under.
I think the guys at AEW are wrestling business savvy enough to say no. It's not like you have ATM Eric over there, right? You have guys who'll be like, no, you know what? He's not going to do a damn thing for us.
Because he's going to do the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I want my schedule to be blah, blah, blah. And they're going to be like, you can kiss our ass. We travel every week.
Yep.
And we need all of our wrestlers to appear every week.
And a lot of those guys did the whole traveling via car. They didn't just go from, wrestling school to WWE, right? They did the Ring of Honor circuit. They did all these little shows. So
they paid their dues.
Yeah, I agree. All right.
No problem. Do you think Jack Swagger could beat Brock Lesnar in a fight? No, come on.
I've seen Jack Swagger fight, man.
No.
You know what? Those thick brown paper bags that they have now.
He couldn't get out of it.
Yeah, they put up a better fight. Yeah.
What about Matt Riddle? Do you know who Matt Riddle is? Could Matt Riddle beat Brock Lesnar in a fight?
No, none of those guys could beat Matt Riddle. Brock Lesnar in a fight or a shoot wrestling match.
King Velasquez beat Brock Lesnar?
Yes.
Back in the day, not anymore.
Boy, he looks bad.
Oh, he looks terrible. Like, I don't think they knew that he was on his deathbed when they signed him for that match.
That's rude.
I mean, that's what it looked like. The dude.
All right. So NXT UK champion Walter has been critical of certain aspects of WWE, most notably his involvement in the Survivor Series match, which saw him eliminated after 3 minutes. He reflected on it as a mistake, and he also noted that he doesn't like the theatrical aspects of WWE.
Wait. Does he still work for WWE?
Yeah, he's actually their UK champ.
And he's tweeting that shit out there? What a jackass.
This is the new millennium.
I fire his ass.
Kind of mentality.
Oh, you don't like it? All right.
I don't like something, so I can use social media. We talked about this last week. Like, they're ridiculous. It's like, get your shit together. Realize that these people are employing you. Yes, that you're an independent contractor, but that's like me being in construction and then going, well, I'm going to talk shit about the construction company or the people that paid us to come build their house.
That is unbelievable.
You don't do that. It's ridiculous.
Like, does Walter have a wife? Because we're going to see her with Titus. You know what I mean? You're right in your mouth. And what happened to Rusev?
Yeah. He also was pretty...
Cedric Alexander's looking for a new woman, so...
They should just keep doing that.
Yeah.
Sticking them with the black guys.
Jeez.
And then when
cuckolding is popular right now. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. All right, and then while we're on the subject of frustrated superstars, Matt Hardy has expressed his frustration about how WWE has been booking him after an episode of Monday Night Raw this Monday where he basically was jobbing to Rowan. He took to Twitter to say, and I quote, "Hope you're enjoying my WWE TV appearances. At this rate, there won't be many more. It is imperative to note that Matt Hardy's contract with the WWE is going to come up coming March.
Now Matt's the broken one, right?
Yeah. So he's the one.
I could see him going somewhere else.
Because he's the brains. He was the brains of the two Hardy Boys. So he came
hard,
up.
man.
It's really not. It's really not.
It's a very relative term.
But he did find a way to reinvent himself to make himself popular again, and he did it multiple times. Because if you look at it, it was Team Extreme. Then he became V1, and that got over. Then after he left and came back with the feud, that was not really hard for him to go over on that because Edge was screwing his girlfriend. But then he leaves again, becomes broken, and every time he reinvents himself, people jump on the bandwagon. And what WWE did when they brought him back this time is they refused to let him be creative. So he's sitting there going, the broken gimmick got over, let me use it. Oh, there's too much red tape and, we got to go through too many lawsuits in order to get the rights. Then they got the rights and buried it. Yeah. Oh, okay, so we got the rights for this character, but we're still not going to let you use it. And it's like, when you stifle someone's creativity and their growth within WWE, they're not going to be happy.
Especially Matt and Jeff.
Right.
They're very into, the creative
aspect
of it. Like, Jeff does all the face paint or whatever. You take all that away from him, and you're like, do the thing from 99 and wear the Jinko jeans.
Yep.
And it's like, what? No, I want to do...
And literally, that's what they're doing now. Before Matt Hardy left this last time for his little hiatus, I guess it was for an injury, he was dressing a specific way. Since he's been back, he's literally dressing like 1999 Matt Hardy, where it's like, oh, the cargo pants and
I got this jacket back in '97. I still wear it. What's wrong with that?
I mean, it's nothing.
Kidding,
when you're that old, I mean, you can get away with
They
that.
just threw the whole broken thing, or should I say woken thing away. Like, they're like, oh, that didn't happen.
Right. Well, because they
don't
saw
like you having your own ideas.
Exactly.
Anymore.
And it was because Woken wasn't getting over because everyone knew that Broken was what made him popular.
But they used Balor Club, which is like the Bullet Club.
And it didn't get over either. So now he said now he's not a Balor Club anymore because they realize all of this stuff that they're trying to reinvent the wheel on things is not working.
Okay. All right. Well, that was going to be one of my topics, but thank you, Jack Bruce Davidson. All right.
Well, now they don't want to make reference to anything that was ever in any other organization because they're like, they hate AEW, which is another organization. It's like, we're only doing things that were in WWE.
Right.
So we
Which
don't
is
care
so
about what you
foolish.
did
So
in
if you did it
Impact,
on
whatever.
TNA, you can't do it here. And it's like a lot of these guys own the rights to the stuff they create in TNA
Right.
because TNA or Impact Wrestling is not like the WWE.
Right.
They don't make you sign that contract
That
saying
exclusivity.
all things that you come up with while working for us are become exclusive to us.
Right.
You know, like the Disney
Dudleys?
Corporation does that. Dudley. Yeah. So the Dudley Boys couldn't be the Dudley Boys
What
anymore.
are they now?
They're
3D?
They're Team 3D. Yeah. Usually when they leave.
Is that how they do it?
Something like that.
Where would you want to see Matt Hardy go? Let's say he pops up somewhere. What do you think is like the
AEW?
best thing?
AEW. Only because
NWA.
He can't do the match that they want him to have in AEW,
Right.
but I think NWA or maybe like Ring of Honor, he pops up with Marty Scurll or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
I think they'd be cool looking.
I think it would be really good in the NWA because he has kind of that Midnight Expressness to him. I think and that kind of. I'm the kind of guy that watches the NWA, and when I see Matt Hardy, I don't see the Young Bucks. I see the Midnight Express type of.
Yeah, I think the only thing that would hurt NWA with him is because of the fact that how creative he is with his video packages and vignettes and stuff.
Right.
They don't really do that with NWA.
Well, but they can.
They can. I mean, if they're going to start developing it, it would work for them. But I think you're right. I mean, he's not the type of guy that's going to put on these 5-star,
Right.
fast-paced matches. Not at all.
Not really ever. He was always the fat one.
He was.
No offense to the man, but he wasn't all like flippy flip flop flip flip.
I mean, he's got knees like bow and arrows. It's literally.
Yeah, they snap, crackle, and pop. He's made out of Rice Krispies.
I could see him going back to Impact, honestly.
Couple more, Jack.
Jeff does not suck. Jeff Hardy did have talent. Jeff Hardy can take a hell of a beating. He's a very athletic man. He came up with ideas and painted himself stuff.
I can't say that he sucked because half the stuff that he did in that ring, 90% of the guys that are saying that he sucked would never even take the chance to do.
Not only that, but you know what? But when you hold him up against a well-trained, well-polished team, the best example is that famous tables, ladders, and chairs match with Edge and Christian, the Dudley Boys. You watch when that match ends, one member from each team bumps, right?
Yeah.
The Dudleys bump. Was it Christian? I think takes the last bump, but dipshit, one of the Hardys falls on his feet and then collapse.
Yeah.
I don't think they suck, but they're. All right, go on.
And then with a future AEW Dynamite taking place on Chris Jericho's cruise ship, multiple dilemmas.
He owns a cruise ship?
Yeah, he has a cruise ship. He does the.
I know he does that shit, but I didn't know he owned it. Actually owned it.
Yeah. Anyways, so multiple dilemmas have arisen that might raise conflict for the show. The episode is taking place on the aforementioned ship cruising the Bahamas, which could lead to downpours of rain due to the tropical weather, and the ship doesn't have a roof, so matches would have to be postponed, or they'd have to wrestle in the rain, which is dangerous.
No.
People have wrestled in the rain.
Have you ever been on a cruise ship?
No.
They have these giant theaters that are bigger than the ones we do our wrestling shows in, right? They have bands like Nelson and Los Lonely Boys on these friggin' cruise ships, right? They can put a wrestling ring. Yeah, it's not.
It's not a bar.
It's not like the one that your family came to this country in. It's a big. What?
Rude.
What?
Rude.
I was talking to you.
Oh, I'm Patty McIrish. We came to this country with nothing but our potatoes.
That is what? No, that is I'm telling you right now, that is absolutely a non-issue. I'll tell you that right now.
We've been attacked by pirates. Have we just?
That could be an issue. You know,
who's giving you this?
I am the captain now. I am le champion now. I am le champion now. Look at me. I am le champion now.
Another conflict is the spacing between ringside and how wrestlers can't really do outside dives as easy.
Good.
Suck it up.
Maybe you have to wrestle in the goddamn ring.
That's such a weird concept.
But on a positive note, every guest that shows up gets a little bit of the bubbly bottle of champagne.
Okay.
There you go.
So I might have to jump on that cruise.
So you might have to get drunk and forget the fact that you even went on this damn cruise.
Yeah. All right. And then to wrap it all up, Psychosis 2 slapped Conan after an event in Mexico City.
Work or shoot?
Shoot.
Yeah.
Okay. What happened?
Basically, Psychosis 2, him and Conan have some beef. Basically, Psychosis 2 said he wouldn't appear in AAA tapings unless Conan was out of the company.
Yep.
You know, nobody from AAA went to go talk to Conan because I'm pretty sure management knew that this was stupid. And then they bumped into each other in Mexico City. Psychosis 2 slapped Conan, and Conan didn't really do anything.
Do you know if he slapped him here or if he gave him the old bitch slap?
It was a full-on,
it was
palm to face.
Palm face.
Like,
it was a pie face.
yeah,
Something like that.
Yeah. And I mean, really, it's one of those stories that's not really a story.
No.
But people are just making a big deal out of it. And they're like, oh, how dare he put his hands on that old man. Psychosis 2 is in his 50s.
No,
they're not that far away from each other.
They're still men, ain't they?
They're still grown men.
They're still men.
And he literally went to handle his issues
instead of
with
tweeting
another
about
grown
it,
man.
or
Exactly.
how about this, blocking them on Facebook and then talking about it.
And talking about
you
him, yeah.
bitch.
Yeah, I mean it's garbage. So it's really one of those stories that's not a non-story.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly
Is
with
Psychosis 2, is that the one from WCW?
No,
like the
That
famous
is
one?
the second one.
Okay.
Psychosis 2. No, don't call yourself something else. Call yourself Psychosis 2.
Well, it's either that or Psychosis Junior.
Yeah.
That's always the
Or,
thing.
okay.
So then so the younger Psychosis from WCW, is he Psychosis the Third? No, I've never heard of this before.
No, so I think
Does anybody know?
the original one from WCW it's still the original Psychosis, and then the other guy adopted the persona of Psychosis and called
This is like when you yell into a kitchen somewhere and you're looking for Jose and like 6 guys answer at the same time.
kitchen.
It's like
kitchen.
you gotta be.
Or you go to a hockey rink and you say, "Hey, Jeff," and everybody turns around.
Hey, Matt.
You would think Psychosis would be like unique enough that 5 guys in the locker room wouldn't turn and look at me. Psychosis, the one from WCW, borrowed my phone charger at a thing once, and I didn't know what to call him, so I called, can I have my phone charger, Mr. Psychosis? And I felt like an idiot.
Mr. Psychosis.
Yeah, because I want to be respectful, and I'm like, hey, Mr. Psychosis.
Stupid.
Because he's like older than me.
You want to be a big star? Want to be a big star?
Yeah.
Be a star, don't ya?
Why would you hit Conan, though? He walks with a cane, man. He's not like he doesn't look like a combatant at this point.
Well, you're hitting a guy that's not.
What was their beef about? Do you know?
I guess it just ranges back to personal stuff. It was stuff that took place outside of the ring years ago.
Okay.
And Psychosis 2 said that he would never work on another show with Conan. And he said that Conan doesn't respect the business and all this other stuff. And just talking crap to talk crap. And it then escalated to physicality because like he said, he asked them, pull him off the show or you don't get me. And then he went to him in the locker room and didn't even have words with him, just straight up popped him in the face.
I don't see a problem with that.
I don't see a problem with it.
I don't. I think if more of that happened, there'd be less of those little bitches tweeting and Facebooking and all that nonsense.
Because a lot of the people that say they have a problem with it are the ones that would just tweet
about it. Right. Right, exactly. What do you think?
And then he's like, hey, fool, let's go bodies, fool. And he's like, hey, ese. And then they start, like, wiling out on each other.
Well, I don't think psychosis is all choloed out like that.
Let's go bodies.
I pull my shank out.
Don't hit each other in the face, you know?
Don't hit each other in the face.
That's what he's doing.
Anything else? Jack Bruce Davidson?
Yeah, totally.
I wanted to hear this.
This one's just for me.
Okay.
So the stain on the pants of life in wrestling, Enzo Amore, has responded to the challenge of Tama Tonga because, those two guys are beefing.
Tama Tonga?
Yeah, he's setting himself up to get killed.
Yeah, he's setting himself up.
Let's fight Khal Drogo.
Let me see this. Let me hear this. Let him finish.
For those who don't know, basically they've been beefing back and forth
over
on
what?
Social media.
For the uninitiated.
Over like stupid stuff like Enzo's like, I make more money than you, and Tama Tonga's like, yeah, but I have talent, bro.
Okay.
And
so just ticky tack shit.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. It's not like the Matt Hardy Edge thing.
No.
Yeah.
How is Enzo Amore still making money?
It literally was
off of his stupid rap music.
and Big Cass were trying to get booked on other indie shows,
right?
When they both got released, and Big Cass finally got his head out of the buffet,
right,
and stopped doing all the drugs, and so he got in better shape, and they started showing up to random shows,
right,
and just promoting themselves in the crowd.
Is that when they tried to rush the ring?
So there was a show where they tried to rush the ring because at the time the most popular tag team was Tama Tonga and his brother.
Okay.
And so they rushed the ring and they started having it out, and ever since then they've been calling each other out online.
Okay. So I want to hear you finish your thought. Thanks. That's what I thought it was.
So Enzo Amore, if you ever watch this, I want you to know that you are the worst thing that's ever happened to wrestling, in my opinion. Go somewhere else with that bullshit. Go to World Star, do all that bullshit, and get out of here, and stay relevant.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, some strong words from the regularly demure Jack Bruce Davidson. Well, I want
that he's still in the news,
Okay.
I mean, he keeps himself
relevant. Well, you are the news.
He came out with
you are the news.
And it was garbage, but he came out with a rap album to keep himself relevant. Then that failed, so then he's now trying to pick fights with people that are actual wrestlers.
Thank you, Jack Bruce Davidson, for your continued intrepid intelligence and reporting. We give you all the respect. One more time for that shirt. Show us the back.
Yeah, I got
you can see the back to the front.
Let's show the back.
All right.
There you go. Outstanding. Ladies and gentlemen, the Hollywood fashion plate, Mr. Jack Bruce Davidson. Yay.
All right.
Luis Tapia is saying Azrael is over 300 years old in vampire years.
So I'm 6 months older than Luis. I got a couple months on you there, buddy.
Oh, boy.
Touche, Azrael. Touche. All right.
Actually, it's 5.
Why don't you tell us who's watching, Joe?
Here we go. We got Isaac Molina. We got
Isaac.
Tom Dupree.
Big T.
We got Paul Stitz.
Hey, Paul. One third of the triumvirate. 1/3 of the triumvirate.
We got Jessica Scott.
Hi, Fancy Nancy.
Oh, we got Azrael's friend Charlotte watching.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing?
Watching what? Oh my God!
All right.
Fired again.
Whoa.
I got no place to work.
We got.
You never say hello.
We got Bill Chu watching.
Hey, Bill Chu, I know you're still watching. Hey, come out to enjoy the show. Don't listen to what these guys have to say.
I think he might have fell asleep by now.
We have
Cynthia, he didn't log out.
Yeah, watching Navia.
Who? Cynthia Navia?
Yeah, she's watching.
She's really coming on strong as of late. Much love and respect to you, Cynthia.
Bob Oso.
Bob Oso, how are you? Hey, I haven't seen you and your son and Ben at the dojo. Come on in.
Junior Cholo Jr. is watching.
Hey, Ephraim.
We still got that victory over y'all.
We got Luther.
Luther Dansby.
What's up, Luther?
And we got Justin Lack. He's watching.
Hey, Justin.
And
drummer.
Also Mindy Hinojosa.
Love you, girl.
Voodoo Master.
Voodoo Master, how you doing, Voodoo Master? Want to say, hey, glad to have you back with us. We got to meet your new squeeze. She was outstandingly sweet, and I just want to say, hey, we'll see you next week. New squeeze.
Wait, what? For who?
For Voodoo Master.
Heidi? Heidi's a nice lady.
Yes, she is.
Is Heidi the lady?
None of your damn
I
business.
thought Heidi was the lady.
Yes,
Oh.
all right. Saturday, February 1st, Orange County Championship Wrestling returns to American Legion Post 716 for its annual cage match. That's right, 5 big matches inside a steel cage. That's at the American Legion Post 716 in Los Alamitos. Doors open at 5:30. The bell time is at 6 p.m. Tickets are $15 pre-sale, $20 at the door. You will see the likes of Voodoo Master and Helmuth as they take on an old friends of yours, La Raza, in the steel cage for a qualifying match for the tag team titles. What do you guys think of that?
I'm good luck to both of y'all, because after you get done beating the hell out of each other, you more than likely will have to step in the ring with the two of us. And the reason why I say that is because we are going to be kicking some ass that Saturday when it comes to the shit collectors. The debt collectors.
Yes. We're going to get to that. The Legion title, the American Legion title, Orange County Championship Wrestling's Legion title, will be on the line in a 3-way dance of danger. That's right. The reigning champion, Freddie Havoc, will be taking on Joey Barone, Mr. Wrestling, and Luis Tapout Tapia in an feet on the ground match. Now, it's going to be different. There will be no pinfalls. There will be no submissions, no knockouts. It's escape only. So your only way to win is climb over the fence or over the cage to the floor or go out that door. All right? There will be no pins, no submissions, no countouts or disqualifications. Nothing but feet hitting the ground. That's feet, not...
So basically what that means is you got to beat the living hell out of your opponent in order to make
your two opponents. Yes.
To make sure that you can escape the cage first and solo.
And you got two people with some pretty bad blood there with the Havoc and Tapia. At first it was just a friendly or a professional match for the title.
I mean, really think about it. I think the bad blood is even worse though now between Mr. Joey and Tapia. He had some harsh words for him last week.
Absolutely, definitely did. Yeah, and so make sure you don't miss. You don't want to miss that one. Tag team title, Thunder and Lightning, the resident heroes of OCCW.
Could we say the longest reigning OCCW tag team champions
in history?
I mean, it's starting to seem that way. It's starting to seem like we are running shot through every tag team that steps in the ring.
Now, you won the titles at the last cage match, yeah? Oh, no.
I think it was the show after.
The show after at Heartbreak City.
Yeah.
I think La Raza has a 1-year title reign. So I think that... they did lose it in between.
John? Did you hold the tag team titles?
I did, but not for a year.
Oh, okay.
No, yeah, that was... No. Anyway.
I have the most combined days as OCCW Tag Team Champion in all of its history.
This is also
Azrael
true.
Holds a lot of accolades, though. He has that, and then he still has the longest reigning match against Gusten Uberstad.
Still going.
It's still
He's
going.
an incredible athlete.
Yeah, there's a lot of endurance in that. It's a war of attrition, clearly. They will be taking on the Dead Collectors, the team of Judas, Mikey O'Shea, and Benedict Arnold, Vito Fratelli. Your thoughts, gentlemen?
Big balls of bullshit. That's what that is.
All right.
I mean, let's be real. Step in the ring with us again, and this time you can bring the roof to your house, and bring your house too. Bring that little trash can that you drive down the street. Bring it all. I mean, because at this point it don't matter, because you can bring your grandmama and her walker if you want, and I'll lay it all out. I don't care. I'm taking anything out that steps in the ring with me that's not Azrael.
And you know what? Go ahead.
I think it's sad that we've come to this. Mikey O'Shea used to be my friend, probably my best friend in wrestling, and now my current best friend in wrestling versus my old best friend in wrestling. No, not you. You yell at me a lot, and you don't pay them much.
Well,
See, and then that's I really think that's what it comes down to, because he's not. He always says, "You turned your back on me first." He's mad that his friendship could not propel you to success. My friendship also comes with success in this business. And Mikey couldn't bring you that.
I've tried to push Mikey to go WWE champion, and he decides to go to Lucha Pro. Way to shoot for, if you can't shoot for the stars and make it, go ahead and shoot for the gutter and make it in. And there he is.
He shot for a rooftop and landed in a dumpster. That's the furthest he could make it. Like, really, let's be real.
Once again, that's at American Legion Post 716, February 1st, cage match. That's right, cage match. Joe, you wanted to say something?
Real quick, we had two people chime in right now. We got Tim Bears watching, and also we got Rachel. She's watching.
Hi, Rachel. What?
What?
You thought it was funny to do?
I just said hi.
You thought it was okay. I just said hi.
I don't.
What? No, it's not my fault that I'm not flirting with anyone.
Why do you gotta? Why?
It's not my fault that everything I say is smooth as butter.
Why do you gotta? Hey! You knock that off.
What?
Knock that off.
Talk.
That's not very gentlemanly.
No.
Hey,
That's funny, man.
Yeah. What?
Nothing.
What?
Nothing. Man. I was just saying this. It's just really so sad that y'all gotta go back and forth about this, man. Because at the end of the day,
Nah, get that.
Look,
That'd be a real short day.
Come on.
but it's gonna be a long.
You know what? The sad thing is he really believes this nonsense. Right? No.
Well, whether I believe
You know
it
what?
or not,
You know what?
It ain't me that you gotta worry about.
She's a ride or die girl. She's not a help you change the wheels on your house girl. All right.
That's true.
All right. That said.
That's true.
Hey, stop it! Stop it! I'll strip you of them titles.
Bye, 10 Bears. See? I do it to everybody.
10 Bears. Hey, 10 Bears.
Don't be
Hey,
weird.
10 Bears. We got another spot if you want to come in and maybe bump. I'm just saying. We got room for you. Always will.
It's always good to have the biggest Native American that I know in the building.
The baddest too. Yeah.
That dude can take a chop to you.
All right.
Tomahawk chop.
Well, tomahawk steak.
And in the main event, we have Vintage Dragon taking on Gusten Uberstute, who was supposed to be here. He's not going to be here tonight. And I just want to speak for both men and say this will be epic. Gusten won the title from you last cage match and wound up losing it a few months later to Vintage Dragon, who through all defiance of logic and decency has been able to hold on to that OCCW title ever since. Now we're going to make sure that we have a clear winner in this cage match, as the ring will be surrounded by OCCW wrestlers. Right, not Vintage Pro or Lucha Pro, not GCF. This is going to be OCCW through and through. So, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that is February 1st, Saturday at American Legion Post 716 in Los Alamitos. Tickets are $15 pre-sale, $20 at the door. I'm telling you right now, this event, Joey, will sell out.
Yes, it will, folks. You got to make sure you come early because the seats are very limited.
Yeah,
Very much. I mean, and that's the thing. That's not us telling you that you ain't gonna get in, but that's us telling you
ain't gonna sit out. Yeah, you'll get in. Don't you worry about that. But it'll be like the Mayflower,
So
though.
bring yourself.
remember the Mayflower?
If you do,
All right.
Bring yourself, and if you're gonna be running late, you might want to bring your own chair.
If you get there late, there's no
Now,
sellout.
John, we're going to see some your famous meatball sandwiches or tamales at this event.
We're gonna have Mama Della O's
Up to Joey to
famous
Yeah,
meatball
same.
sandwiches, and we also have a new surprise dessert treat coming your way. We'll have a better announcement next week, but you're not gonna want to miss that. Definitely, it's Mama Della O has scoured the planet.
And I'm telling you right now, y'all might turn your nose up and be like, oh, sub sandwiches and all this other stuff. This ain't Subway. This ain't that garbage that you're gonna eat at the fast food spot around the corner.
Even
Mama De La O, when I say she puts her foot in this, she puts her damn foot in this food.
I didn't know no pata. What the hell?
No.
I never heard of that expression. I
never
put
heard
my
of-
blood, sweat, and tears into these enchiladas.
Not but my foot.
Hey, let me tell you something.
Really?
If she hadn't retired from cooking on the regular, Mama Della O would be the greatest chef in the world. But God,
I mean,
that woman
it's
can cook.
restaurant quality. I'm
Yeah,
telling you.
it's better than restaurant quality.
Yeah,
Have you had a meatball sandwich lately?
Not one better than her.
Oh God, they're terrible. Most food is terrible at restaurants lately. Let me tell you something. You know where I went the other day?
Oh, here we go.
I went to Chick-fil-A. All right.
Could you taste the hate?
I went in there. I was starving. I wanted one of them sandwiches, right? I grab it. Couldn't get in there. Pulling on the door. The door's not open. I'm kicking the door, knocking on the door, looking inside, and then I go, it's Sunday. So, Chick-fil-A. All right.
And one more thing. For everybody that's 21 and over, Legion Post does have a bar for all you.
Full bar, all right? Full bar.
Alcoholics.
And for all you drunkards who can't have a good time without alcohol. Anyway.
Damn thing. Have one for me.
Hey, you know what? Have one for me, too. Have a lot for me. All right? The more you drink, the more money everybody makes.
You
all right?
know who wants
like the state of California when they bust you for a DUI.
I think Vivian wants everyone to drink as much as possible that evening.
Vivian absolutely abhors the thought of alcohol being ingested in any form, way, or shape.
As long as you have money, you don't have a drinking problem, you have a drinking hobby.
That's right. That's when you run out of money.
I don't have a problem being drunk. All of you have a problem with me being drunk. It's not really a problem for me.
It becomes a problem when you get on my nerves when I'm drunk.
If not, come see me. I'll sneak in a bottle for everybody.
No, don't.
Okay,
We aren't sneaking. You're trying to get us thrown out of there. They're watching, you know.
I know. I'm just
And let me just say, the people at 716 have been fantastic to us from beginning to end. They really took a chance on us because there was some wrestling shows before that had trashed the place and punched holes in the walls and whatnot.
That is so weird.
Yeah.
I don't know why people would do stuff like
Right?
that.
Why would anybody want to do such a thing?
No, it doesn't make any sense. But what we do is we tear the house down.
Yeah, well, don't literally tear the house down because I have a security deposit that I would like to get back. All right. That said, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the portion of our show known as Topics. That's right. Topics. We might need a minute monitor.
Yay! Perfect timing.
Right?
He knew what time it was because it's time for
Topics. Topics. And not the stuff that Joey the Bull sprays on the back of his head. That's topic. Right?
What are you talking about? Don't be getting mad. My curls.
You know what? Every bald dude is jealous of what.
Soul glow.
Yeah, there you
it's
go.
a little greasy too. Good.
Where I will pose a topic.
Just let your soul
That's right, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, man.
Coming to America, there's a sequel coming out.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Hey, if you can make another Bad Boy sequel, you fuck it.
Yeah, right. If you can make 2 Bad Boy sequels, you can make 1 Coming to America.
You sure can.
Thank you. Topics, where I will post a topic to these distinguished panelists, and they will have 1 minute on which to voice their opinion, pro, con, or indifferent. Our first topic this evening. Who wants to take it?
What is it?
What?
NXT.
I'll take it.
Ladies and gentlemen, BA Marcus Frey.
The first thing that I got to say about NXT is when it first aired on the WWE Network, it was the premier independent wrestling show under a WWE banner. It was something that literally people were flying to the internet to pull up episodes of NXT. It was something that was different. It was something that was new. It was something that was fresh. It gave you, yes, some of the same people in the crowd every week because they were the locals. And that's the one thing that you will get when you have a good product is the locals will flock to wherever you are. And then all of a sudden, people started hearing about it all around the nation, and they all started going down to the Full Sail Center to watch NXT. Guess what's happening now? People are getting tired of NXT, and you want to know why? Because you decided to try and make it mainstream. You decided to put it on television and air it with commercials. That was one of the best things that you got when you watched it on the internet. Was you didn't get commercials. You didn't get the garbage with it. You just got straight independent wrestling. So now I love the guys that are on it. I love what they're doing with it.
Minutes up.
But
it's
just a
give him the hook. That's a great opinion. I like that. I like what you said about the commercials and that independent wrestling. For his opinion on this topic, NXT, we go to the inimitable, the incorrigible, the indescribable Azrael.
I think it's interesting now because it doesn't serve the same function that it did originally as a developmental territory where you would have people who, like, they wanted to put, like, another, like, 2 or 3 years of polish onto something before they put them onto the main show. Because now it is a main show. It's on national television. It's on the USA Network. That's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of eyes on somebody. You don't want to put somebody on there that you're not sure about anymore.
Right.
And now they're stacking the deck more because they're competing. That's the show that they're using to compete against AEW. So they're putting, like Finn Balor. Samoa Joe is on there. They're putting Adam Cole on there. They have guys on the Johnny Gargano's never going to get out of there. There's guys on there that they could be getting promoted up to Raw, but they're never going to get out of the developmental territory because they're going to keep the developmental territory as a main show. So the guys under them that they need, they're going to have to go down to Evolve would be the one under that. So you're going to have NXT as like what SmackDown used to be as the second show, and then you're going to have like Evolve as like what NXT used to be, where they put the guys on there that they want to put another 2 or 3 years on, like Austin Theory, for example, a couple of guys like that they want to develop more physically and as a promo and as a concept.
No, that's interesting. Now on that opinion, on that topic, does that show growth for World Wrestling Entertainment in that they're
growth for the business?
Okay.
It's great. It's great for them. It's not so much great for the guys that are trying to break into the business.
Okay,
because like you said, it was a footstep. It was a stool to step onto to try and make it to that main roster. So yeah, when you watched it, sometimes it wasn't the greatest wrestlers, but it was that's where Bray Wyatt was born.
But
it's where you develop.
You're looking for that almost in a show. Like, I want to see a guy who's not completely polished. Like, I want to see a guy like on his way up, and like that. There's a place for that kind of show. Yeah. Now all the guys are because it's going to be on USA. Now they all need to be completely polished.
It has to be as good as Raw.
National TV.
Yeah, it has to be.
They have to compete against AEW with guys that have been traveling around for years, are going to be completely polished. Yep. So they don't have like you want to like kind of like fall in love with the guy like he's on the bargain floor or whatever.
Right.
You know I mean like Finn Balor doing his thing or Bayley doing his thing without like all the special effects behind him. That's like kind of like when you're the thrill of watching ECW was watching somebody like Rob Van Dam like develop from what he was into what he became before he became WWE champion.
Like you said, I think you guys are both in agreement that it was independent wrestling. When it was independent wrestling, it was cool. Yep. Now it's just kind of just another.
Yeah, they saw the money in it, so they're selling it as its own brand and another facet of just the WWE main roster.
Now their problem is that all the guys train together, so all of them have like the same style of match, and it's all like the indie super show style of match. Which there's nothing wrong with that. But then you go to Raw, and you're like, hey Ricochet, you got 6 minutes.
Right.
That's a totally different thing than like, hey, you got 25 minutes. You can kick out of 6 finishes, and you can do whatever you want to do. So it's a totally different concept that they have him to do, but he doesn't get to practice that 6-minute match anymore because they don't have that extra time for him to do that.
Huh.
You know
interesting,
what I mean? So
yeah.
They can't develop people the same way. So Evolve is what that's for. Now, if you know what Evolve is, it's one of the promotions that they own, that they have guys. Now that's the NXT to watch.
Or the OVW.
That's like I like watching AAA baseball. I like watching AA baseball because there's a difference between Major League Baseball because they're making different plays.
Right, and you want to see that live though, don't you? You want to see AAA baseball live.
It is cool. It is cool seeing different like levels of like people watch high school football and college football. Because they're not the best players in the world, but you want to find that guy who's like the best guy on that team, and that's the guy that's going to go to the NFL. Like, I look at Velveteen Dream, and I'm like, that guy can play in the NFL. Yeah. Like, that guy. But you look at some of them, and you're like, he's going to be here.
Yeah. This will be his plateau.
Interesting. All right, now, our next topic, did you guys want to weigh in on this? Good. All right. I'm just kidding.
God bless America, right?
Our next topic was going to be Matt Hardy, but you guys already voiced your opinion on Matt Hardy. So
there's probably more to him.
There's still more I could talk about.
All right. Well, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, our next topic, Azrael will take this one. Our next topic, Matt Hardy. And Azrael, take it away.
I think Matt Hardy he's not the more famous of the two out of Matt and Jeff, but I think Matt was the better ring technician. If I had to guess, I would. It looks like he puts the matches together. He's the brains behind it, and then Jeff has to go do it. He's probably been watching out for him like their whole life. Classic Hardy Boys is when they came back to WrestleMania. Jeff Hardy climbs the 20-foot ladder, kills himself, killing the two guys from the bar, and then Matt just like shimmies his way up and grabs the belts for the win. And that's what they always were. I think Matt's creative. He's reinvented himself a couple of times. times. I think Jeff Hardy's more or less been the same character, even like with the face paint, but he's still Jeff Hardy. Versus like Matt Hardy had like the version 2.0 where he's like, hey, look at like the internet, and he wanted to use that for like WWE Live or whatever. Like he's had more ideas and he's been able to keep himself going. I'm surprised that he's the more injured of the two. Apparently, like he had to get like his hips fused together, so he's got more physical problems. But Jeff Hardy's still walking around, and God favors fools. I think that's an expression.
Brother Nero. Can someone explain that? Why he called him Brother Nero?
So the whole concept was there was a point where Jeff Hardy lost his mind and he became Willow, and when he saw him, Brother Nero was like a term of the broken child. It was like the kid that you had, the kid brother that you had that was always sitting in the corner, the dark child. Okay. And so that's where that term came from.
Okay, Brother Nero. Yeah. Gotcha. All right. For the final opinion of the night on said topic, Matt Hardy, we go to the man who is getting better at
Mangling faces.
Mangling faces. He is B.A. Marcus Ray. That's very good.
So when it comes to Matt Hardy, Matt and Jeff were always one of my favorite tag teams when they were at the height of what they did. You can tell why Matt Hardy is the broken one. When you're born with bowed legs the way that he was, and having to adapt to wrestling like that, your body starts to fall apart. But the man's brain works like no other. Even when they would not allow him to use the broken character, he then went online, like Azrael was saying, and reinvented himself again as Matt Hardy 2.0. And it was something that everyone thought, oh man, when they premiere this version of Matt Hardy on TV, it's going to be great. And then what do? They have him coming out every week in his old 1999 gear, getting beat up by everybody. It's sad that they're not allowing a guy like that to premiere something that the fans want to see.
They just really don't like the history of anybody else in another organization, and they never have. Cactus Jack became Mankind. This whole totally different thing.
Yeah.
Well, and the interesting thing about that, but there were certain wrestlers that they let, for instance, the Nature Boy, right. Ric Flair, Tully and Arn when they came over, but they put Dusty Rhodes in polka dots.
Right.
So, I don't understand the thinking behind it.
I think it's because there are some that they feel like are bigger, that might be bigger than the business, and they don't want them to overshadow the business.
It's
sad.
Yeah,
Ric Flair, because he had the actual WCW championship with him, so they're like, ha, screw you.
Yeah.
Like, that was the point of that.
Yeah.
Disappointing. But
it's pretty sad. Anyway, like that said, one more time, ladies and gentlemen. Saturday, February 1st at American Legion Post 716, Orange County Championship Wrestling gives you Cage Match. 5 exciting matches of professional wrestling, all in the steel cage. You will see B.A. Marcus Frey. You will see Azrael. You will see Gusten, Thunder, Uberstud. You will see Vintage Dragon, Voodoo Master, Helmuth, Heidi, the team of La Raza. You will see Joey Barone, Luis Tapia, Havoc, and many, many, many more. Don't you dare miss it. That's American Legion Post 716, Saturday, February 21st. Doors open at 5:30. Bell times at 6 p.m. Tickets are $15 pre-sale, $20 at the door. And that will do it for all of us here at Orange County Championship Wrestling and the Royal Ramble. For Joey the Bull.
That's right.
And B.A. Marcus Frey.
What's up?
And Azrael. This is Jonathan Malice wishing you a good night and hoping that you take all of your bumps in that ring.
Can't wait to eat some pizza tomorrow.
Pizza?
Yeah, buddy.